Hello everyone and welcome in. Today is Wednesday, April 10th, and today we'll be taking a look at what all energies want to come through for you from God, Spirit, the Divine. So the usual format, I will pull a few cards for the collective in general, and then I'll go sign grouping by sign grouping and pull some additional cards and some oracle cards and see what all messages want to come through. So I will also be doing some other readings this week. I'll do later this week, I'll do a twin flame update and also an Is This Your Person update and pick a pile. So make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell if you want to be alerted as to when those new videos post. Also coming up later in the weekend, I'll be doing the videos for the second half of April for each individual zodiac sign. And the format for this year that I've been using is I'll group them by sign grouping. And so then I'll do kind of a general read, like for all of the fire signs, for example. And then I'll pull a bunch of cards specifically to Aries or to Leo to customize that reading further. So definitely check those out when those post. All right, let's dig into today and see what all wants to come through. Six of Wands. Oh, I pulled two of them. Two of Pentacles in reverse and the World in reverse. So with our Six of Wands in reverse, or not in reverse, just in the upright. So this is that card about victory and, overcoming something, like you've been able to move past it. You've gotten that victory. And with our Two of Pentacles in reverse, this is this like too many balls in the air type of energy. And then the World in reverse is about having delays and feeling like bad timing, like you maybe aren't learning from the past or you're looping through cycles. So it's almost like there's this energy of this is what's been going on. You've had so many things, like too much in the way of distractions, too many things that you're juggling. You just feel like you haven't been able to close out cycles and learn lessons and move forward. But the energy that's coming through is victory, that you are going to be realizing that and coming up here soon. So we'll take a look sign grouping by sign grouping to see maybe what area of life that applies to and kind of timing. But that's the energy that's out there. So some of it, remember too, we do have a few days of shadow energy from the eclipse that was on Monday. So we're still kind of in that period. We also still do have Mercury retrograde. So it could be that you're feeling this kind of chaotic feeling, like you're juggling too much, like, lessons just aren't closing out. What is the delay? Like, what's going on here? And that can be Mercury retrograde kind of pushing on you to do something. Like, how do you get to that point of victory? How do you overcome that? So let's start today with who should we start with? And we'll just kind of drop that over there. Pisces. So water signs. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Let's see what messages want to come through for you. The High Priestess. So this is that divine feminine energy. It's that inner wisdom, higher consciousness. So let's pull one additional card here. What cycle, what lesson is it that you are needing to close out during this Mercury retrograde period? Tell us a little more about that. Ace of Wands. So this is about this excitement and creativity and new beginnings. So whatever is keeping you from moving forwards, whatever is keeping you from getting that new beginning, what do you feel like you're being kind of stuck in a rut? You keep going round and round on the same thing. So that is what you're needing to do, is embrace the new beginning. All right. Let's pull a soul journey card, get a little bit more clarification. Friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. And this is anybody. So anybody that's in your life is there for a reason, especially if they're recurring figures in your life. If it's a boss, a coworker, these people agreed to be in your life for a reason. Some people are there to help teach you lessons. Some are there to help give you strength so that you can work on these lessons. But everybody kind of has their purpose. And sometimes if if something feels sticky or, gritty and you don't like it, if you always kind of have abrasive types of interactions with somebody, maybe it's somebody at work, maybe it's somebody within your friend group. Think about it from the perspective of, okay, they agreed to be in my life for a reason. What are they trying to teach me? All right, let's take a look at this. We have Pleiades, double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. So some of it, especially when you're going through tough times, if you can kind of think about it from the perspective that you're here for a reason, and actually those kind of go nicely, that you're here for a reason, like what is that reason? What am I being called to do? Sometimes your struggles, that was a bunch of cards, your struggles can, and how you overcome them can be the roadmap for other people to overcome their obstacles. So sometimes that makes it feel a little bit easier if you're struggling as you're going through things. What's your honest truth? And so, like I said, there's, some people are in your life to teach you lessons. And so what is your honest truth? If you're feeling like you kind of keep looping and, you feel like, oh, there's delays. Why am I stuck in this rut? Why am I stuck? Think about what is the honest truth? What is it that you're feeling called to do? And reflecting, is this a recurring pattern in my life? Do I stay too long at the party? Do I give too much at work? Am I too selfish at work? Maybe I'm too hard on my coworkers or my subordinates. So what is it that is your honest truth? And how do you embrace that? And even if it's something that you don't like, how do you embrace it and say, that's a part of me, and love that part of you? And if you want to change it in a loving way. Like, don't try to shame that part of you into silence. How do you embrace it and love it and see what is the underlying need behind why that situation comes up? All right, next will be our air signs. So that will be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Strength. So this is that kind of, card of perseverance, have a little bit more strength. Let's get some clarification, because I feel like the strength card is sometimes kind of ambiguous. It's like, is the strength that I need to be stronger and stay longer? Is the strength that I need to, buck up and leave or, change something? So let's take a couple more cards. What is the strength card calling you to do? Oh, I pulled two. Page of Swords and King of Wands in reverse. So our Page of Swords energy is that planning and that curiosity and patience. So patiently planning for something. King of Wands in reverse is kind of a little bit of that impulsive, sometimes almost like a bitter energy. So it's having the strength not to get too bitter about it and not to be too impulsive, because these cards kind of are opposite of each other. So being a little bit more patient and planning. So those two stuck together. But yeah, a little bit of the opposite type of energy, the planning versus the impulsiveness. All right, let's take a look at our soul journey card, blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. So part of closing out different cycles in your life is if you're sitting in a position of, well, if the other person would have only done this, if they would do this, then things would be better. So even if you feel justified in saying that, you're also still blaming them and kind of not taking accountability for your own involvement. Even if what they did was not good, you stayed and you allowed the behavior to happen. So from that perspective, what is it that you can learn? Like, should you have identified certain patterns earlier? Should you have done something different earlier? So, all right. Soul family, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. If you're feeling heavy energy. So, and this could be leading to some of this impulsiveness or almost like that bullying energy. If you're blaming somebody else, like, why did you do this to me? You know, be aware, be mindful, and don't let blame turn into bitter type of energy. But call in your soul tribe right now, and your guides and help. You know, if you're feeling like you're really low on strength and energy, you know, you're close. The victory part is coming in. You're close. So call in your soul tribe and ask for help, ask for support, ask the universe to give you more of this strength and, you know, determination to be able to make it through, because, you know, like I said, you're close to the victory. Let's pull a Sacred Creator card. Or let's pull 7. Those kind of jumped a little crazy. Lead your metamorphosis. So in terms of, you know, and your soul tribe can help with that, because they're helping to give you that influx of energy. And with leading your metamorphosis, part of it is that strength part of, make sure you're not sitting back waiting for somebody else to make a change, waiting for somebody else to do this, and then I'll, you know, once this person does this, then I'll finally be able to be happy. Oh, once this person does this, I'll finally be able to go for it, for that new job, take that risk, you know, start that new project or business or whatever it is that you're thinking. So make sure that you're the one that's leading the metamorphosis. Don't rely on all of these other outside factors, because that's the easiest way to let yourself not actually ever make any progress on your dreams or your goals, is because you're waiting for this or that, or this situation to be perfect, that situation to be perfect. You know, and it's funny, it reminds me of that movie Idiocracy from, I think it was like from the early 2000s. So, kind of one of those funny, stupid movies, but it's showing these two situations where one is, it's this very refined couple and they're talking about planning a family, and oh no, we can't do that right now. You know, the geopolitical environment is just simply not conducive to having children. And then they fast forward a few years and then it's like, oh, well, you know, with our careers, we can't, you know, this is not the right time, you know, and then it just keeps going on and on. And so then there's the other person that's kind of like, yeah, whatever, you know, it has tons and tons of kids. And then these people, they end up so old that, you know, they die trying to conceive or whatever, you know, but it's just kind of that whole thing of, you know, they were waiting for everything to be exactly perfect because that's what seemed like the responsible thing to do. And, you know, there was that sense of they were waiting for something else. They were waiting for the universe. They were waiting for this, for that, for this, for that. And, you know, they were never able to do that. So I don't know why that popped into my mind. That's not necessarily a hugely spiritually motivating thing, but it was just kind of funny. That's what had popped into my mind, that, you know, if you wait too long, you could time yourself out of being able to do certain things. All right, fire signs: Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The Fool. So this is that card of new beginnings. This is taking a leap. It's, you know, taking that brave step forward, starting down a new path, new beginnings. So we'll pull a card for you as well. What else do you need to know? Fire signs. Justice. You're taking this in reverse. So you're taking this leap of faith because something is out of balance. And, you know, whatever situation is not going to come into balance. So the way that you close out this cycle, the way that you close out this lesson here, is you take that leap of faith into a new beginning. You do something different, and that's going to be your victory, is your new beginning. All right, let's take a look at your soul journey oracle. Regret. I know that I cannot change the past. So this is the thing, when if you're struggling and, you know, you feel like there's too many options, like there's, you know, like you're unorganized, you don't really know what to do, and this cycle just keeps repeating. if you feel like there's delays and the cycle keeps repeating, don't let regret about something that happened in the past keep you from moving forward. You can't change the past. All you can do is learn from it and make new choices. So don't stay in this situation because you feel like you're earning your way out of it, if that makes sense. Don't sit there and punish yourself for past choices. Like, learn from them, definitely learn from them. Otherwise, if you're not learning from them, you're never going to close out the cycle. Like, learn from them and then get your new beginning. So we're here. I heard another reader say this. It's like, you're here on this planet to learn lessons, not to stew in them. So learn it, incorporate it, and then move on. Break the chain, ancestral patterns, healing and rewriting the future. And this goes, it's a very small portion of this, but when you look at this figure's dress right here, it goes perfectly with that regret card. So, there could be some regret around, maybe there's a certain pattern within your family and you're going to be the first one to break that pattern. And maybe that feels scary. Maybe that feels vulnerable or uncomfortable to you. And that you regret, like you wish that things would have played out differently, but they didn't. So, break those patterns and write your own history. Because, remember, you're the only one that has to wake up in your shoes every day. So allow yourself that new beginning. Allow yourself the fresh start in life. Get back to elemental. So again, this kind of goes with, let yourself get back to the core of what makes you happy. Don't get so deeply entrenched in some of these generational patterns that you are abandoning yourself. Just because everybody else may have done that doesn't make it the right choice for you. It may not have even been the right choice for them, or maybe it was the right choice for them based on their circumstances, but it may not have been. It may have been, well, that's the way we've always done it, and that's, not a reason to continue doing something a certain way. Well, that's the way we've always done it. Well, you may have always been wrong, or you're no longer right. But don't let that regret keep you from moving forward into your happiness. All right. And now we have our earth signs. So that will be our Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. What wants to come through for you today? The Devil. So this is that energy of, what is it that's keeping you from your fresh start or from your higher self? And I just did the fire signs one, and I think it's interesting because, Data is the Fool. So he's the fresh new beginning, the leap of faith. He's the robot. This is his evil twin brother, Lore. And, so for those of you who are not Trekkies, they are twins. That's why they look the same. But it's like the devil stands in opposition to the new beginnings. So for our earth signs, we have the devil energy, and that is, what are those patterns that are keeping you from your highest good? So let's get a little bit of clarification about what is that devil energy that our earth signs need to overcome. Two of Wands, which is decision making and personal power. So are you giving away your power because you're not making decisions? So you do have a decision to make. And the interesting thing I feel like with this card is, look at it. She has two sets of hands. So it's like firmly standing in both worlds, because she has two hands on the mop, she has two hands on the broom. So, but it's just one figure. And so it's kind of like that the decisions, like the warring decisions, do I go down this path, do I go down that path? It's almost like you're trying to fully commit to both paths at the same time, but you can't. You know, why she has four hands, I don't know. But, you know, you can't commit to both paths. So with this, where you're juggling too many priorities, you're juggling too many priorities because of the fact that you're simultaneously going down two different paths. And that's that decision point that needs to be made. So, you know, twos are about decisions and choices. And you had two of them come up for our earth signs here. So you have to make a decision. Which path are you going to go down? And, you know, the devil is going to try to pull you down one path, that devil energy, and it's going to try to pull you down the path of looping. Because, you know, the devil energy is the lower vibrational energy. It's, you know, anger, apathy, guilt, shame, laziness, procrastination, you know, those types of things. So the devil energy, actually probably goes more like this. The devil energy is going to try to keep you looping because that will keep you sad and angsty and frustrated and all of that. So what you need to do is you need to make a decision from a place of personal power and move on with it and break free. So that's kind of that message there for earth signs. And remember, the devil energy, like I said, it's whatever's keeping you in low vibration. So if it's, you know, addictions like substance abuse types of addictions, you know, that's because when you're under the influence, you're not actually thinking about how can I better my situation. You're wallowing and you're letting something else come in and mask the fact that you're unhappy, whether it's gambling, shopping, overeating, you know, whatever the case may be. You're using that as a distraction so that you're not focused on what is my highest good. How do I get to my highest good? And it can also be, you know, self-deprecating thoughts. It can be those racing, obsessive thoughts, you know, that are not true and not lifting up your soul and your spirit. Denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. So with this one, you know, denial is the main phrase, and then this is the mantra to try to help you with that. So there's some sense of denial that's keeping you from making these decisions. And the denial is what's keeping you looping. It's that sense of, you know, well, if I just hold out a little longer, well, it's really not that bad. Well, I think I'm okay with this. You know, whatever the case may be, whatever that denial is, it's keeping you from your highest good because it's keeping you in a place where you're not happy, where you're not thriving. You might be surviving, but you're not thriving. All right, let's take a look at our light worker card. Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? And so this is also kind of that devil energy of, nope, you can't do that. You know, you really can't leave that job because, oh my gosh, you know, what are you going to do for money? Nope, you really can't leave that partner. What's that going to do for the kids? Oh, nope, you really shouldn't get in that relationship because you never know, you could get your heart broken. Or, you know, oh, if you get in that relationship, it's going to take time away from, you know, your job, or that new hobby is not a good idea. It might be too expensive, you know. So it's like, if you knew that you would be okay and you knew that like your loved ones would be okay, what would you do? Like, what is it that you really want to do? And that's very difficult to be able to tease out what is unrealistic fears and uncertainties and doubts versus practicality, you know. So obviously I'm not advocating for doing things, you know, that are totally impractical, but, you know, how do you balance out a reasonable amount of responsibility versus what are you heaping on yourself that you don't necessarily need to be heaping on yourself? All right. Celebrate your wins. So some of it, especially, you know, as you start to feel like you're on your path, but when you get to points where, you know, say that you're overcoming this devil energy, celebrate the wins no matter how small they are. If it's something where normally you would have done this or that, even if it's a very small, like minor thing, celebrate it. because that's what's going to help build momentum. So for example, you know, if you were whatever, trying to quit smoking, even if it's just one time when, you know, you reach for it and you're like, no, I'm going to, you know, go take a walk around the block instead, or I'm going to go get a drink of water, whatever. Like, even if it's just once during the day that you do that, celebrate it, you know, because you're breaking free from that. Even if it's one thought pattern where you start to feel like you're spiraling and you catch yourself and you say, no, I'm not going to do that. Celebrate it. So that's the message that's coming through for today. As always, take only what resonates and leave the rest. And as I mentioned earlier, there's going to be some new videos coming up, especially the ones for the second half of the month. So make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell if you want to be alerted as to when those post. Otherwise, I wish you peace and joy along your journey. Until next time.